Okay, so this question we're going to be talking about how to factor a sum or difference of whole numbers. And I've written you some notes on the side that really are just you first need to find the greatest common factor, which we'll talk about, and then divide those, but divide the numbers that you're given by the greatest common factor to sort of see where they fit into the equation. So the two numbers that you're given are 8 and 4. So you need to write out the greatest common, well, the factors of those two to figure out what the greatest common factors are. So I'm going to write those out. And again, factors are just numbers or sets of numbers that multiply with each other to equal the number you're given. So example, I'll start with the easy one. Factors of 4 are numbers that multiply to equal 4. So 1 and 4 multiply together equal 4, and 2 and 2 multiply to equal 4. Let me zoom in on that a little bit. Then I have 8, right? So again, always 1 in the number that you're given, so 1 and 8. And then I have 2 and 4, and there aren't any other numbers besides those numbers that I just gave you right now. So when you're finding the greatest common factor, you are going to find the number that is the greatest, the biggest value out of those two lists that are common, they're the same. So if I had to say, oh, the greatest number out of the two lists is 8, that is not your greatest common factor. The greatest common factor is the number that is common in both lists, that is the biggest. So the number that's the same, that's the biggest in both lists. So I know it's not 8, and then I'm going to go 4 and 4. Okay, that is the greatest common factor. A common factor, another one of this is 2, but it's not the greatest number, so I don't even need to look at that. So those are just some common mistakes that people have. They just choose a number, but you want to find the greatest common factor. So the greatest common factor for these two numbers is 4. Okay, so when you go to part B, I'm going to write it out here a little bit so you guys can see it just a little bit more of um, what exactly I mean. So I'm not trying to squish numbers into here. So what this is you're going to put the greatest common factor into this box. Okay, so the number that we just wrote down goes again there. So that goes there is 4. Okay, and then if you remember my notes, it says divide numbers by the greatest common factor. So you're like, what am I dividing? So you're going to divide 8 divided by 4 is 2, and 4 divided by 4 is 1. Okay, those are the numbers that you're going to put in there. Okay, now if you're having a hard time remembering this, just remember you just wrote this out, right? You just wrote out the sets. So if I have 8 divided by 4, the answer is 2. So that goes there. And then 4 divided by 4, the answer is 1. Okay, so that goes there too. So if you're just having a hard time, you're like, man, I don't know what I'm supposed to put there. Just remember, you can, if you wrote it out like I did, and, if you've met with me, you know that this is the way that I always write out factors for multiple reasons. But if you do it like this, you will be fine. Okay, it'll help you to remember it. So this is the way that you're supposed to write it out. I know you guys tend to get a little frustrated because you're like, what do I put in the box? And you guys know it, but it just gets a little confusing. So this is what you need to do. Remember, greatest common factor, and then this goes there again, and then you divide the numbers that you have there by that number, and you put them in their respective places. Okay, hope that was helpful. Let me know if you guys need another example or just need some help. Good luck.